Nothing has power over you except what you give it. Hey guys, welcome back to 5nothing100nothing.com. I am Fuck It! That stands for the fittest underdog guru using intelligent tactics. Guys, I want to talk to you today about power. Power over you, right? Things that happen that affect your mood, basically things that happen and then you react to it, whether it's a positive or a negative. Mostly in this case, I think that we focus on the negative things, because then if they get to us and we react, overreact in the short term, it has a cascade effect. It begins to pick up steam. It begins to get worse, especially if you focus on it. And if you look back in your life, when anything bad happened, I don't think you could find too many things that your overreaction actually brought about a better outcome. So when things happen, you've really got to have the ability, and sometimes maybe I think it's DNA, sometimes it's lessons in life that teach you this, but you've got to find a way to just stay centered, keep your center, not overreact, not respond in extreme emotion or anything that, once you're calm and back in a logical side of your head, you're going to wish that you had not reacted that way, because then picking up the pieces could be a lot harder. That's one of the reasons it's always dangerous when you're talking about a party scene, a bar scene, and people are intoxicated and somebody bumps into somebody. Now, if you're at the grocery store, 9 out of 10 times, maybe 99 out of 100 times, you're just going to apologize and move on. Now, let's say you're liquored up, somebody else is liquored up, and you bump into somebody or they bump into you. All of a sudden, you're going to overreact. You're going to go crazy, or they are, and a fight breaks out because you have two pickled minds from booze that are not making good decisions, and you're not feeling much pain, right? You don't have any inhibitions. It's only going to be going downhill from there. That can happen, of course, when you're under the influence of something, but it also happens if, let's say you've just had one of those days where you get a little piece of bad news, another little piece, and all of a sudden you feel like it's the end of the world, but it's really not. Where you see an extreme example of this is in adolescent children, right? All those hormones are going crazy, and any little thing that happens, it's like magnified by 1,000. All you got to do is look at that if you've raised teenagers or you currently have teenagers, and think back to those times, and it's like, oh yeah, just picture yourself like that teenager and embarrass yourself into a place of never doing that again. It's always best to maintain composure, calm, and figure it out, use some reasoning. Most things that happen don't require an immediate response, within that moment. Don't give up your control and your right to just process it, make a calm down decision. Once that temper has come down, once your disappointment or your shock and all of that goes down and you're centered again, then you're in a much better state of mind to make that decision. Think about if you're in an argument with your significant other. Yeah, you're in that argument with your significant other, and the longer you've been with them, the more you learn about what buttons they have that you can push. And let's say you're playing fair. You're not playing dirty. All of a sudden, she says something that is like this trigger, and it's just like you've lost your mind. You don't care. You're just throwing those grenades, Nothing good is going to come of that. So now you're saying things in anger that you may not even remember because you're so upset. And the hard part of that is then you have to, mend the fence. You got to apologize. You got to go back and try to undo things. And, there's an old saying that, guys usually can get in a big fight with each other and then have a beer the next minute. And, women have a lot of times, so yeah, I'm generalizing a bit, but they kind of have a little curse. And that is they just can't forget things. It's like they remember every little thing. And so, if you guys get into a fight and then all of a sudden, she brings up something from a while ago, you aren't going to have the same recollection abilities most likely that she does. And she's going to remember every detail of it and be able to recite it to you, and you're just going to get even more flustered and frustrated. So it's always best to maintain calm, and it takes two people to fight. So you don't need to escalate anything. The only time that I would see that as an exception is if something's been brewing for a while, like if you bit your tongue forever and then all of a sudden it's like you just lose it. And sometimes in rare occasions that could be a positive thing, because finally you spoke up. And somebody may not even know that they were hurting you or that something was bothering you. There's always a better way to handle it, because even if you get it all off your chest, you're not going to feel good. You're going to feel bad, especially if you made that other person feel bad in your sharing of this information. So just some food for thought, guys. I had a few things today that just went a little sideways, and I was, so I needed this drive. Just some things business-wise that were a little goofy, but they're not big things. They're really small things, and it was nothing on my part. It was misunderstandings, an issue with the shipping of a product, just dumb little things that you just add them up, and it's like, So I actually had to go run an errand, so it actually gave me a chance to step out, calm down, and pull it together so that it's all good. It's all good. Guys, like, share, subscribe.